Film and digital photography are very similar in many ways. But can a nearly 100-year-old camera like this one outperform and take better pictures than the latest modern digital cameras? Well, maybe. Film and digital both have distinct differences that give each one an advantage over the other. In this video, I'm gonna dive into those differences and really see why someone might choose one over the other. I mean, there's no denying that modern digital cameras are basically superior in all technical aspects. So I'm just gonna put that out there right away. These new lenses and sensors are just incredible. The color contrast, sharpness, image quality overall, being able to shoot 1,000,000 frames a second and basically never having to worry about running out of storage or film is pretty remarkable. And now if you're a working commercial professional photographer, there really is no real reason to shoot film for a client unless they requested it. All that being said, these same amazing qualities can be kind of a hindrance to creating really great images or an expressive piece of art. For instance, a lot of these modern lenses can look super clinical and almost too sharp, which is a weird thing to say. And they can just lack a lot of the character that these older film lenses have. Shooting film forces you to slow down and take more things into consideration. It's a slower, more methodical process. With digital, it's much easier to spray and pray, take a lot of images thinking that you got a good one. Got one. It's very easy to fall into the trap of I can fix that or I can create that in post. And that can definitely be problematic when you're shooting. Oh, there's something in the frame. I will just remove it. I will just clone it. It's almost impossible, at least for me, to get out of that thought process. With digital, it just seems like I'm more impatient and I will default to fixing it or trying to enhance it in post a lot quicker than I would if I'm shooting with film. The latest digital cameras just sort of seem like shooting with a big computer. I mean, that's basically because that's what they are, just with a really, really good optical system on them. The first time I shot with a modern mirrorless camera versus my digital SLR, it was very noticeable to me. And I didn't enjoy it as much. It really felt like I was taking pictures with my iPhone. It has that kind of feel to it. So since mirrorless cameras kind of became the norm, my experience with shooting digital, at least with those cameras, the joy in the experience has kind of fallen off a cliff. Many people take amazing, amazing photos and love shooting digital, don't get me wrong. It just hasn't been my experience lately. Like I said, it often feels more like the computer's taking the image versus me. Now, if I contrast that with shooting some of my older film cameras that don't even need a battery, it's really a completely different experience. I only have to concern myself with the f-stop and the shutter speed. Everything else is about composition in the image. It's not about the camera. I find it much easier to be connected with just a simple box with a good optical system on it than this fancy thing with all these menus and all these settings that just get in the way of me observing my surroundings and focusing on light and shadow and tone and all the things that actually create good images. So which one of these actually costs more money depends on a lot of variables. I mean, you can spend a lot of money on a new digital camera setup. You can spend a lot of money on a film camera setup. So this is kind of hard to compare as the gear can go either way. But with film, you do have to pay for every roll that you shoot. And the price of film is getting more expensive and it's not the cheapest thing to get into. So the fact that you have to buy every roll as well as pay for processing or developing every roll, I would definitely say that digital is probably a cheaper route. But it's also been my experience that cheaper usually does not mean better. So taking the image is only the first part of creating a photograph. Creatively editing and actually finishing the image relies on different post-processing and editing processes to actually make that vision you had a final image. And now digital images, they have to be processed on a computer. There really is no other way. Programs like Lightroom and Photoshop and others like it they're incredible. They're incredible tools that they can take that raw image or that image you shot with the digital camera, and you can go any direction you want with it. At this point, you can do anything, even create the image with the programs. Film photos, on the other hand, can completely decouple you from a computer. You can go in and just print these optically. Basically, no computers involved. This escape from the computer is kind of a reoccurring theme that I find myself thinking about more and more. And I've had many conversations with other photographers who feel the exact same way. This is huge, and the main reason film is a better fit for me. It fills me up creatively in a way that digital photos, they simply can't. Many people like me are glued to their computers all day long for work, so when it comes to doing something creative, I would much rather be using my hands in a tactile environment, like printing in my darkroom. The last thing I want to bring up is just this awareness of my surroundings, especially if I have a film camera in my hands. When I'm shooting film, I just look at things differently, like everything's a possible image.
Weirdo.
And I can't really put my finger on why, but I don't feel that way shooting digital. I'm just more excited and much more present when I'm going out or am out shooting film. And this is something that has just been obvious and I've noticed over the years. So which one is better? Well, this is all going to depend on what your ultimate intentions and goals are. But hey, let me know down in the comments below what your thoughts are. For me, film is much better for some things, and digital is a clear winner in other areas. So if you like this video, I think you're definitely going to love the next one right here.